Good evening. Welcome to your Wednesday night hockey game. Ulrich line out there. Ulrich took the face off. Swarth up to his left. Just got checked from behind. Heiner to the right. He's heading into the corner with it. Davis and Johnson are out back. Bloomington rings it out of their zone. Cross ice. Going to the net. Shot. Goal. All right. Well, soft start to the first period as Bloomington goes up 1-0. All right, Lorenzen line out there now. Lorenzen will take the face off. Erickson to the right or left. Christensen to the right. Puck comes out. Little pressure by Erickson. Comes into the CCHA zone. Goes across ice. Testafot and Johnson off back. Excuse me. Testafot and Schwartzbach out back. Christensen, Hester at the point. Bloomington gets around there. Puck squirts loose. And Bloomington will be back to pick it up in their own zone. Goes across ice into CCHA. Picked up by Schwartzbach. Run along the boards. Picked up by Christensen. Christensen's got Rasmussen to his left. Shot and saved by a Bloomington goal. All right, 13:48 left in the first period. Bloomington's already up 1-0 over CCHA. Riker didn't take the face off. Rasmussen to his left. Hagen to the right. Armentrout and Eide out back. Puck comes to Eide. Eide throws it back in all the way around. Picked up by Rasmussen. Rasmussen will send it to Riker. Back to Rasmussen. Back into the corner. And Bloomington has skated out. Oh, Armentrout's able to keep it in. Puck comes all the way down. Icing's going to get waved off as it's going to be a tip. Armentrout back for it. Back behind the net. Sends it up the boards to Hagen. Hagen tips it. Tries to dump it to Riker. Armentrout flips it out. And it goes into the CCHA back. So we were going to face off just outside, it looks like. Far dot on the CCHA side. Ulrich out to take the face off. Swarth out to the left. Heiner to the right. Puck comes out to Bloomington, and they'll dump it into the CCHA zone. Armentrout back for it now. He'll throw it back there on the boards. Comes back to him. He sends it up to Swarth out. Swarth out hits Heiner. Heiner hits Ulrich. Ulrich poke checks it into the zone. Heiner with it in the corner. Poke checks it back behind the net. Ulrich along the boards with it right now. Comes out to Heiner. Heiner will send it around. Swarth out pesters a little bit. There's Heiner. Heiner gets it to Ulrich. Ulrich's shot right out front, but picked up by Bloomington, and they're able to get it out of their zone. Bloomington comes into CCHA, wraps around, doesn't have a shot. Goes one around, but it goes into the corner. Swarth out, gets it down into the corner deep, comes up to the punch of Jefferson, but they can't control it. So they'll have to regroup outside of the zone. Johnson with it back behind the net. Sends it up to Lorenzen. Lorenzen leaves it back to Davis. Davis sends it over to Johnson. Johnson back to Davis. Davis gets it over to Christensen. And Christensen shovels it up the boards to Lorenzen. Lorenzen gets around one player, goes to the corner, but Bloomington's going to pick it up and bring it right out of the zone. That comes out to Christensen, center ice. He throws it back. Comes back to Johnson. Johnson throws it up the boards. Gets deflected. Goes back into the corner. And we're going to get a roughing call by Bloomington. As the Bloomington player lit Erickson up at center ice, and he wasn't even near the puck. CCHA will go up on the power play for the next 2 minutes. There's 11 minutes and 21 seconds left in this first period. That comes around the net for Bloomington. They throw it out, knocked down by Heidi. Thrown up, picked up by Swarthout. Swarthout gets it over to Heiner. Heiner comes in, he's got Ulrich to the left, back to Swarthout. Heidi poke checks it back to Heiner. Heiner gets it to Swarthout. Swarthout throws it over to Ulrich. Ulrich back to Armentrout. Back to Ulrich. Down to Swarthout in the corner. Swarthout brings it back to Armentrout. Armentrout shot. Oh! Quick whistle by the ref. Lost sight of it. Puck was still loose. Lorenzen line will come out. Christensen to the left. Erickson to the right. Armentrout and Heidi out back. Puck comes to Armentrout. Back to Armentrout again. Armentrout sends it over to Heidi. Heidi tries to get down. Can't. Switches back up. Sends it over to Christensen. Christensen's shot. Right on point. Bad save by... Puck comes out. Bloomington's trying to get there. Heidi's back for it. Nice save by Starkman. That goes in the corner for Heidi. Heidi sends it over to Lorenzen. Lorenzen can't handle the pass, so he doubles back. Off Heidi's skate. Comes out to the point. Erickson pestering. About 45 seconds left in the power play. That gets tied up in some skates. Rasmussen takes it. Gets it over to Armentrout. Armentrout tries to skate it in, but Christensen will bring it in, but Lorenzen was just offsides. 28 seconds left in the power play here with 9 minutes and 49 seconds left in the first period. Score here is CCHA 0, Bloomington Jefferson 1. Elected in to take the face-off. Rasmussen and Hagen out front with him. Puck comes over to the boards. Rasmussen back to Schwartzbaugh. Schwartzbaugh able to keep it in. His shot gets blocked by a skater from Bloomington. Into the corner with it is Hagen. Puck comes out and it's going to get fluttered. Touched by Sestafant, but comes back out. Both teams at full strength now. Hagen gets hit center line. He's got Riker coming in with him. Riker goes to the pad. Back to Hagen. Hagen's shot gets stopped by the goalie. Swarthout coming in. He gets picked. Bloomington coming down. Sestafant there to break up that play. Throws it back behind the net to Schwartzbaugh. Schwartzbaugh sends it up the boards. Comes all the way down. And that will be an icing foul. All right, 8 minutes and 48 seconds left here in the first period. Both teams are at full strength. Ulrich line out there with Heiner and Swarth out up front. That comes out to the point for Bloomington. Shot gets blocked over to Starkman. Starkman throws it out front. Swarthout picks it up, but it gets deflected right back in again. Shot goes wide of the net. Picked up by Heiner along the boards, who tries to bring it out so Davis can bring it forward. Davis hammering at it, gets it to Ulrich. Ulrich has it, sends it up to Swarthout, picked up by Bloomington. Bloomington will throw it back out of their zone to Johnson. Johnson gets it to Davis. Davis sends it up to Swarthout. Swarthout tries to bounce that puck over to Ulrich, but it gets picked up by Bloomington. That's going to be an icing call on Bloomington. The puck will come all the way down. Looks like it'll be to the left of the Bloomington Jefferson goalie. Christensen takes a face-off, gets it over to Lorenzen. Bloomington controls back behind the net, flutters it up on point. Johnson comes in with a check. That goes back down low. Bloomington throws it out to their point person. Gets it out of their zone. Jefferson carries it in, but we're going to get an offsides call. Lorenzen takes a face-off, gets it over to Erickson along the boards. Erickson loses it, comes back into the CCHA zone, but right back out again. Pushes in along the boards with it. Not able to control it. Bloomington comes in, but Arbitrate's able to break that puck up, and he carries it into the Bloomington goal. He whips around trying to get it to Christensen, and it comes back out. Bloomington will have it. Erickson gets tripped up and goes down. It's 2-on-1. And Bloomington can't control it. Puck still loose out front. Picked up by Switch for Heidi. Heidi will skate it down. He's got Christensen to his left. Puck comes in. Shot gets blocked. Goes to Christensen, but it's picked up by Bloomington. We're going to have a penalty back behind the play. And it looks like it's going to be on Christensen. He's going to get 2 minutes for boarding. So CCHA will go on a power play or a penalty kill with 6 minutes and 57 seconds left. Bloomington fans on that. It's still lost. Starkman sends it back behind the net. Sestafon picks it up. He's going to rack it along the boards. It's tipped by Bloomington, so there's not going to be an icing call here. Bloomington picks it up back behind their net. Nice job by Swarthout, keeping a little pressure on the penalty kill. Hagen's gone in. Swarthout comes in. Tries to break up the play. Picked up by Hagen. Comes in. Oh, and the shot goes over the net. Nice job by Hagen. Picking up that puck from Swarthout. Bloomington comes in. It's broken up. They have it in the corner. Puck comes out. Bloomington goes to the net, but it's broken up. Sestafon will take that, get it out of the zone. Puck comes out. Still, Bloomington not able to carry it in. There they go, and that's going to be an outside shot. All right, 52 seconds left in the penalty kill here with 5 minutes and 49 seconds left in the first period. Puck will be to the near dot of the CCHA zone. Stepping in is Ulrich. He's able to break that puck free. Comes back to Johnson. Ulrich picks it up at center ice. He'll skate it in. Tries to get past the Bloomington players, but it gets tied up in their skates. That comes out to Bloomington. Center ice. He's caught. Brought back out by Davis. Picked up by Erickson. Erickson's just going to throw it in, but it hits his player. Oh! Ulrich. There's a breakaway in front of the net. Can't get a stick on it. Lots of players. It gets deflected. Nice job by Davis, pushing it back into the Bloomington zone. I'm guessing there was an offside call. I'm not sure why. Lorenzen in to take the face-off. Ulrich to his left. Johnson and Davis out back. Puck goes into the Bloomington zone. Comes right back out again. Back to Davis. Davis deflects it. Or Ulrich deflects it. Trying to get it to Lorenzen. Davis breaks up that play. Puck goes back behind the net for Johnson. They'll shove it along. Picked up by the defenseman for Bloomington. Lorenzen blocks that shot. Goes down in the corner. Bloomington has it behind the net. Both teams are at full strength now. Christensen has it alongside the boards. He shovels it up to Lorenzen. Lorenzen has it alongside the board. Gets clipped back out. Takes a funny carom off of the board, though, right to a Bloomington player. That comes to Idy. I go throw cross ice to Armentrout. Armentrout throws it up to Rasmussen. And Rasmussen loses a handle on it, but picks it back up again after he checks somebody off it. Back to Armentrout, down to Hagen. Shot by Rasmussen just goes wide of the net. Bloomington carries it up. Gets picked up by Reichert. Reichert dumps it into the zone and then skates in after it. That comes out to Bloomington. Broken up by Hagen. Hagen loses his stick in the play. That comes out. Bloomington coming in. And they can't get the shot off. Go back behind the net into the corner. Comes out of the zone. And we're going to get an offsides call on Bloomington. All right, 3 minutes and 32 seconds left here in the first period. Ulrich in to take the face off. Puck comes over into the zone. Stefano pick it up back behind the net. We'll throw it back to Swarthout. Swarthout will help it along the board. Gets it to Ulrich. Ulrich has Heinert coming in behind him. Shot goes wide of the net. Schwartzbauer able to keep it in. He throws it across ice into the corner. Puck comes back out. Stefano picked that up in our zone. Gets it over to Heinert. Heinert drops it to Ulrich. Ulrich shot goes wide of the net. Schwartzbauer down. He throws it out front again. Picked up by Schwartzbauer after a Bloomington player. He gets it to Ulrich. Ulrich skates it in. Dumps it to Christensen. Christensen shot right on point. Nice play there, boys. That comes out. Picked up by Lorenzen. Lorenzen throws it over to Schwartzbauer. And Schwartzbauer will dump it into the zone and head off for a line change. Bloomington sends it up along the boards. Erickson there, along with Davis. Davis picks it up back behind the net. Stops, tries to get it over to Christensen or Erickson. Gets picked up by Bloomington and thrown back behind the net, where Johnson will pick it up. Johnson gets up to Christensen. Comes back down low. Johnson with it in the boards. Runs it in to help him out. That comes out. Christensen gets it up to the point. Shot goes over the net. Bloomington will send it down low where Lorenzen will pick it up. Bloomington picks it up to him. Throws it out front. Picked up by Lorenzen. Lorenzen has Erickson off to his left. He brings it into the corner. Bloomington has it. Sends it back down below. Erickson chasing in after that. Picked up by Davis. Davis tries to shovel it in. Picked up by Reichert. He'll throw it in, but we're going to get an offsides call. Hagen just hadn't made it back yet. Minute and 15 seconds left here in the first period. The score is Bloomington Jefferson 1, CCHA 0. Reichert Hagen and Rasmussen out there. That will come down low to the right of Starkman. So Rasmussen will come take space. Oh. Didn't see we are on a penalty kill. Didn't see that. Didn't see what happened there.
Is that Tommy?
Not sure who's in the bench or who's in the box. Bloomington picks it up. Throws it across ice for the point. But gets blocked. Shot out front. Goes back behind the net. Simmons brings it up to the point. They throw a cross ice. Back down low. Picked up by Ivy. He pokes at it. That comes over to Bloomington. Shot off the post. Into the corner. And it looks like the net might be off. Which it is. 29.4 seconds left here in the period. A minute and 14 seconds left in. It looks like Johnson went to the box. That comes up to Swarthout. Swarthout's able to get it out of the zone. He tries to hit Ulrich and does so. Ulrich will just throw it down low. Bloomington will have to regroup back down there. It comes up, deflected into the zone. Picked up by Bloomington. Schwartzbauer has it back behind the net. Throws it up to Ulrich. Ulrich throws it out of the zone. And that'll do it for the first period. Stay tuned, folks. We'll be back in about 60 seconds. All right, here we go for the second period. Got 45 seconds left on the penalty kill. Christensen in for the face-off. He's got Erickson off to his left. Sestefan is and Schwartzbauer out back. Bloomington carries it in. Shot block. High stick side of Starkman. That'll take care of the penalty. Lorenzen line will come out. So 14 seconds into the second period, Bloomington goes up 2-0 over CCHA. Lorenzen takes a face-off, gets tied up in some skates. Over to Christensen. Christensen will spit it in. His shot is saved by Bloomington. Another shot, and the net's off. Lorenzen line will stay out there. Christensen to his right, Erickson to his left. Davis and Johnson out back. Both teams are at full strength now. Puck comes out. Picked up by Bloomington. They lose a handle on it, though. Bring it into the corner. Picked up by Lorenzen. Lorenzen throws a cross ice for Christensen. Christensen comes in. His shot. Glove saved by Bloomington goalie. 14-13 left here in the second. Score is Bloomington Jefferson 2, CCHA 0. Reichert line out there. Hagen to his right. Rasmussen to his left. Out back is Eide and Armentrout. Puck goes into the corner. Back behind the net. Puck comes out. Hagen's able to keep it in. Hagen will just flip it into the corner. Reichert in after it. Gets it to Rasmussen. That comes to Bloomington. Hagen Blake breaks that play up, though. And they throw it cross ice, picked up by Idy. Idy bounces it off the boards. Rasmussen had it along the boards, comes out to Armentrout. Armentrout hits Reichert, but it bounces off him, picked up by Rasmussen. Rasmussen shot goes wide of the net. Idy will pinch down to keep it into the zone. Reichert picks it up back behind the net. He throws it alongside the boards, trying to get it to Swarthout. It comes out to center ice, controlled by Bloomington. Bloomington to throw to one of their players. Shot goes wide of the net. Picked up by Reichert. To try and get it around the boards. Can't. Picked up by Heinert. Heinert carries it in. He's got Swarthout with him. Shot goes wide. Heinert chases after it. Gets it down to Swarthout. Swarthout sends it Ulrich. Ulrich a shot. And it's covered by the Bloomington goalie. Ulrich line out there now. With Heinert to his right, Swarthout to his left. Stefan and Schwartzbau out back. Schwartzbau will smack it back. And it goes into the crowds. Got to keep an eye open here, folks. You never know when a lucky puck's going to get a fan. Ulrich steps in for the face-off. Comes out to Bloomington. Bloomington throws it into the zone. Sets the puck there to knock it down. Sends it alongside the boards. That comes out to the punch of Bloomington. Goes wide into the corner. Schwartzbau there. Heinert picks it up. Throws it out to Swarthout. Swarthout tries to get it over to Ulrich. He gets picked up by Bloomington. Blocked by Stefan. And that's going to be an offsides call on CCHA. 12 minutes, 17 seconds left here in the second period. Score is Bloomington Jefferson 2, CCHA 0. Lorenzen line out there. Christensen's to his right. Erickson to his left. Davis and Johnson out back. Up goes in the Bloomington zone and comes right back out again. Erickson tries to shovel it back in. Does so. Gets deflected. Picked up by Bloomington. They skate it out. That comes on Starkman. He throws it into the corner. Lorenzen tries to throw it alongside the boards to Johnson and does. Christensen picks it up in the corner. He flips it out. Hits Lorenzen. Lorenzen's got one player to break. Tries to throw it out front. It gets deflected back behind the net. Erickson throws it up to Johnson. Back to Erickson. But Erickson loses a handle on it and it goes into the boards. Christensen and Erickson with it. It comes down low. Bloomington will take it. Throws it up. Deflects it out. Stopped by Johnson. Picked up by Davis. Davis tries to flip it up to Lorenzen, but just misses him. That comes all the way down, and Johnson will pick it up while Bloomington goes for a line change. Johnson gets tied up. Davis is going to help him out. He gets it up to Rasmussen. That gets deflected, goes back behind the net. Comes up alongside the boards. It'll come all the way down, and Bloomington will pick it up before it gets to the line. That comes all the way down, deflected by Davis, picked up by Bloomington. That goes into the corner. Reichert picks it up now, throws it back behind the net, throws it out front. Bloomington's shot, still stuck in people's skates, and a goal. All right, 10 minutes and 39 seconds left here in the second period. Bloomington up 3-0 over CCHA. Reichert, Hagen, and Rasmussen out front. Hagen to the right, Rasmussen to the left. Puck comes out, deflected off of Hagen's skate, back to Idy, and Idy will dump it into the zone. Rasmussen back behind the net. Reichert there to help him out. It's underneath the Bloomington player right now. Puck comes out. Goes down in the corner. Striker breaks the play up. Throws it up to Rasmussen. Rasmussen tries to get it to Hagen. Can't. Picked up by Bloomington. Trout. Poke checks that into the corner. Back behind the net. Yeah, it's offsides. All right. 9 minutes and 57 seconds left here in the second. We need a goal. Get some blood back going with these guys. Ulrichsen take the face off. Heiner to the right. Swarthout to the left. It comes out. Gets to Sestafon. Sestafon gets it to Heiner. It comes out and it'll get picked up by Schwartzbaugh. Schwartzbaugh throws it up to Ulrich, and Ulrich tries to deflect it over to Swarthout, who is offside. Ulrich gets to the Heiner. Heiner sends it back, and Schwartzbaugh throws it into the zone. Nice job by Swarthout keeping it in. Shot, deflected, just out of the reach. Sestafon able to keep it in the zone, throws it down in the corner, comes back out to the boards. Broken up by Heiner, comes back to Sestafon. Sestafon will throw it down deep. Picked up by Swarthout. Swarthout throws it on the boards in the front for Sestafon. Sestafon throws it over to Schwartzbaugh, and Schwartzbaugh deflects it back into the comes out. Schwartzbaugh doubles back, sends it in the corner, picked up by Ulrich. Ulrich sends it to Schwartzbaugh. Schwartzbaugh shot. Oh! Yes! Schwartzbaugh shot on net. Deflection goes right on Heiner's stick, and Heiner's able to stick it in. All right, boys, let's get a little life back in ya. Get some blood flowing. Lorenzen, Christensen, and Erickson out there. Christensen's going to be to his right. Erickson to his left. Davis and Johnson out back. Up comes to Johnson. Over to Davis. Davis's puck gets deflected and goes down in deep. Johnson will pick it up back behind the net. He gets tripped. That will be a penalty. So CCHA will go up on a 2-minute power play with 8 minutes and 38 seconds left here in the second period. The score is CCHA 1, Bloomington 3. Lorenzen, Erickson, and Christensen out there. It comes out to Johnson at the point. He sends it down to Christensen. Christensen brings it in. Gets it over to Lorenzen down low. Over to Christensen. Christensen's shot gets deflected into the netting, and we're going to get a blown whistle here. Lorenzen steps into the face-off again. It comes out to Erickson. Erickson loses a grip on it. It comes out to Heidi. And I think we are going to go into the box. Looks like Erickson is going for an elbow. All right, 4-on-4 here with Ulrich stepping in. That'll be for 1 minute and 40 seconds. Trout pestering the Bloomington player. Does a nice job, gets the puck away. Good board battle by Trout. He gets it up to Swarthout. Swarthout has Ulrich, but he loses a grip on it. He's able to take the puck into the boards with him, however. Ulrich goes in and falls as well. Puck's underneath Swarthout. They're digging on him. Puck comes out, jumps over Heidi's stick. Bloomington has it in the corner. They throw it out front. Picked up by Ulrich. Ulrich gets it to Smith out. Smith out. Nice shot. Nobody home to clean up after him now. Puck comes out. Shot saved by Starkman. And the net's off. All right, 7 minutes, 19 seconds left here in the second. 42 seconds left in the 4-on-4. Christensen takes the face off, comes to the board for Bloomington and up to the point. It goes off of Christensen's skate back behind the net. Puck comes back up. Bloomington comes in, blocked by Schwartzbach. Christensen pushes that puck in. His shot, save. Goal! That's Christensen's shot, picked up by Hagen, who stuffed it in. All right, 4-on-4 for another 19 seconds. Score is now CCHA 2, Bloomington Jefferson 3. Lorenzen in to take the face off along with Heinert. It comes out. Johnson will pick it up. Throws it over to Heinert. Heinert gets it up to Lorenzen. Lorenzen throws it into the corner. Gets it to Davis. Bloomington is now at full strength. Got 10 seconds left on the penalty kill for CCHA. And we're going to get an offsides call on Bloomington. 8 seconds left in the penalty kill. 6 minutes and 56 seconds left here in the second period. Score is CCHA 2, Bloomington 3. Let's keep that ice tilted, boys. Rasmussen then take the face off, goes over to Hagen. Hagen will shovel it in. He pushes it deep into the zone and he'll chase after it. Tries to loses a handle on it, goes back around the boards. Reichard's there, both teams are at full strength. He throws it down low. Bloomington picks it up, they'll carry it out. Throws it cross ice. Throws it through. Picked up by Armentrout, back to Reichert. Armentrout picks it up back behind the net. Sends it up to Rasmussen, who tips it out of the zone. Hagen breaks up that play. It's picked up by Reichert, and Reichert sends it right underneath Hagen. Comes out. Armentrout just missed it. Jumps his stick. Comes out to Bloomington. Bloomington stops short. Shot gets blocked by Heidi and goes into the mesh behind the net, and we're going to get a break in play. Face-off looks like it'll be to the right of Starkman with 5 minutes and 29 seconds left here in the second period. Score CCHA 2, Bloomington 3. Ulrich out to take the face-off. Picked up by Swarthout. Back to Ulrich. Ulrich shot gets blocked. Goes wide in the corner. Picked up by Sestafant. Sestafant gets it to Ulrich. Ulrich throws it along the boards. Picked up by Swarthout. Swarthout tries to backhand it out of the zone, but it comes back down low after Bloomington picked it up. Sestafant shovels along the boards. It's dropped straight to Heinert's stick. Heinert hits Swarthout, cross ice. Swarthout comes in, drops it for Ulrich. Ulrich shot, saved by Bloomington. He picks it up in the corner. Comes out. Oh, Sestafant just couldn't get a stick there. He throws it back to Schwartzbach. Bloomington picks it up. They skate it in. Oh, picked up by Sestafant. Picked up now by Schwartzbach. He loses back behind the net. The Ulrich is there to help him out. Wraparound shot by Bloomington gets blocked. Back to the point of Bloomington. Shot gets deflected by Heinrich. Out to center ice and into the Bloomington zone. Erickson in, pestering as you go on for a line change. Comes cross ice. And then thrown into the CCHA zone where Schwartzbauer will pick it up. Schwartzbauer flips it backside of the zone. Bloomington will keep it in. But only temporarily as Lorenzen has a nice check. Christensen coming in. His shot. Goal! Christensen unassisted 5-hole on the Bloomington Jefferson to tie the game up at 3-3 with 3 minutes and 58 seconds left here in the second period. Way to go, boys. Keep the ice tilted. Lorenzen steps into the face-off. Christensen to his right, Erickson to the left. Christensen picks it up, throws it alongside the boards. He loses his stick. Comes cross ice. Johnson will pick it up. Goes along the boards for Erickson. Erickson throws it back to a Jefferson player, and it goes back behind the net for Davis. Davis gets it to Christensen. Christensen throws a cross ice to Erickson. Erickson loses a handle on it, thinking that Lorenzen was going to pick it up, and Jefferson does. They come in. Shot, saved by Starkman, goes back behind the net. Picked up by Christensen. He throws a cross ice looking for Erickson. And it goes into the Bloomington goal. Up comes the Johnson. Johnson will carry. Oh, doubles back. Brings it in the corner. Rasmussen comes in to help. Riker tips the puck. Goes wide. Goes off Davis' stick back behind the net. It comes out of the zone. Hagen there pestering. And we're going to get an offside call on Bloomington. 2 minutes and 49 seconds. We are all tied up at 3 here in the second period. Riker didn't take the face off. Hagen and Rasmussen. Hagen to his right, Rasmussen to his left. That gets flipped up into the rest. Wow, that was a curveball. Goes into the corner. Riker comes away with the puck. He throws it along the boards to Rasmussen. Rasmussen will throw it out. No icing. Picked up by Bloomington. Puck comes out. Center ice. Starkman will stop it. Let Eide pick it up. Eide throws it along the boards. Picked up by Reichert, but it's shot. Reichert pushes it up ahead, gets it into the Bloomington zone. Bloomington picks it up. Tries to get around Armentrout, but just puts it in the corner. Armentrout checks it along, gets it back. Up to the point. Shot, deflected, and a goal. Minute and 50 seconds left here in the second period. And Bloomington goes up 4-3 over CCHA. Ulrich to take the face off. He's got Heiner to the right, Swarthout to the left. That comes out, floats into the Bloomington goal. Heiner zone. Ulrich in with it. Stefan sends it over to Schwartzbauer. Schwartzbauer will dump it in, and we're going to get an offsides call on CCHA. All right, Ulrich line stays out there. Heiner to the right, Swarthout to the left. Back is Stefan and Eide. That comes out into the Bloomington zone. Ulrich able to stop it, sends it to Swarthout. Once Swarthout skates it in, his shot right on point, and the Bloomington goalie recovers. Ulrich line stays out there. Ulrich wins it. Oh, right out front. Shot. It's a free. Nope, it's covered by the Bloomington goalie. Seems to be a little frustration out front. Line change should cool things off a little bit. Second will be the Christensen line with Lorenzen off to the right. Erickson off to the left. Out back to Sestafon and Schwartzbauer. That comes up to Schwartzbauer. They'll throw it down deep. Gets blocked by Bloomington. Bloomington has a weak shot up. Carrying it to center ice. They're in. Goes wide. Blocked by Sestafon. Sestafon throws it around the boards. It'll come all the way out. And that's going to be an icing call. Will come all the way down, looks like to the left of Starkman with a minute and 1 second left here in the second period. Our score here is CCHA 3, Bloomington 4. Lorenzo will take a face off this time. Erickson comes away with it. He shoves it up to Christensen. Christensen comes in, brings it into the corner. Has it back behind the net. Has it pinched. Runs it in to help him out. Christensen comes away with it, throws it up. And goal! That might be a hat trick for Christensen. The little kids are throwing their hats onto the ice. All right, 41.9 seconds left. We're all tied up again at fourth. Ulrich take the face off. Heiner to the right. Swarth out to his left. Ulrich gets it. Sends it in. It's blocked by Swarthout, and that's going to be a high stick. Played with a high stick, so it'll come all the way down to the left of Starkman for the face-off. Good play, though. Swarthout was looking to get a little jump, knocked it out of the air, pushed it in front, and they got the high stick. Ulrich steps in for the face-off. Swarthout picks it up, loses a handle on it, and comes right back in. Johnson has it now. They'll throw it over to Davis. Davis back to Johnson. Johnson back to Davis. Davis to Heinert, and Heinert will deflect it out of the zone. Picked up by Ulrich. Ulrich pushes it into the zone, but Bloomington will come back. Saved by Starkman. Davis, Ulrich. Ulrich to Swarthout. Back to Heinert. Lost that in center ice, and that is the end of the second period. Wow, all tied up here 4-4. We'll be back in 60 seconds. All right, folks, third and final period here of the Chaska Chanhassen Hockey Association Bantam D1 team playing Bloomington Jefferson D1 team. Puck comes back to Armentrout. Hagen bounces it to Rasmussen. Rasmussen throws it back to Hagen, but Hagen couldn't get a stick on it. Bloomington pulls it out of their zone, comes cross ice in the CCHA. Rasmussen's there to help break up the play. Bloomington throws it down low. Armentrout's there to help it out. Out comes Starkman covers. Get a line change here. Looks like the Lorenzen line will come out. Puck comes out. Gets out of the zone. Erickson has it. He dumps it in. Bounces off of a Bloomington player, and he'll carry it into CCHA zone. Brings it down low. Throws it out front. And a goal. All right, 14-12 left here in the third period. Bloomington up 5-4 over CCHA. Ulrich line comes out. Swarth out to the left. Heiner to the right. Out back is Schwartzbau and Festafont. It's tied up. Swarthout scoops it up to Heiner. Heiner will dump it in and then chase him after it, along with Ulrich. Up comes alongside the boards. Swarthout down low. Throws it up to Heiner. Heiner breaks it down. Loses the handle on the throw. Picked up by Bloomington, and they'll get it out of the zone. Sestafont right there. We'll send it back to Schwartzbau. Schwartzbau shot goes into the track up on top, so we have a lost puck. Puck will come to center ice for the face-off. Ulrich stepping in. It comes out to Bloomington. Bloomington throws it across, gets it into the zone. It's Estefan's right there to scoop it up and throw it out of there. Bloomington controls in their zone. Tip comes right back out. Got a 2-on-1 shot saved by Starkman. "13 minutes and 26 seconds left here in the third period. Ah, I went to the box, so we are in the penalty kill here. I'm quite sure what happened there. Bloomington controls in the corner. Puck comes up to the point, down low. Shot, cross ice. Back behind the net. Bloomington controls still. His shot is off the side of the net. Picked up by Johnson. Johnson will throw it around the back. Davis with it now. Throws it alongside the boards. Picked up by Bloomington. They'll carry it down low. Shot, saved by Starkman. He'll throw it back around the net. Comes out to Bloomington on the other side. Their shot right out in front. Saved by Starkman. Bloomington still controls. Rasmussen without a stick. At the point, shot saved by Starkman. Goes into the corner. And the puck will come out of the zone finally. After Rasmussen poke checks that away. Puck comes all the way down. Picked up. Nice job. Will Hagen be able to get there? Backhanded at the goalie. That's the best he can do. Picked it up back behind the net though. Puck comes out to center ice. Jumps Johnson's stick. Comes into the CCHA zone. He'll double the back. Send it to Erickson. Erickson bounces off the boards. Gets it to Christensen. Christensen will carry it deep into the zone in the corner. He gets checked off it. Cross ice. Armentrout will chase after it back behind the net. He gets there first. Checks it alongside the boards. Bloomington has it back. Nice job by Davis. That comes out to Bloomington. They'll throw it down below. Armintrak's there. He'll throw it alongside the boards. Puck gets lost in the skates. Cross ice. Both teams are at full strength now. Rasmussen will throw it up the boards. Heiner picks it up at center ice. Tries to hit Lorenzen coming across. Lorenzen's shot goes wide of the net. Comes out to Bloomington at center ice. Armintrak's back to break that up. Nice job by ID. Holds it back behind the net. Gets it into the corner. Lorenzen helping him out. That comes up to the point for Bloomington. Bloomington's shot gets deflected. Goes wide of the net. Over the side. Picked up by Swarthout. Swarthout gets it into the zone. It's picked up by Heiner. Heiner loses it to Bloomington. Bloomington sends it up the ice. Schwartzbauer pinch down, get it to Ulrich. Ulrich tries to hit Heiner cross ice. Can't. Comes out of the zone. All the way down. Picked up by Sestafant. Sestafant will throw it up into the crowd. All right. 9 minutes and 57 seconds left here in the game. The score is CCHA 4, Bloomington Jefferson 5. Right to the line out there, takes the face off. Sestafant picks it up. He'll throw it back. Gets it to Rasmussen. Rasmussen throws it back to Sestafant. Sestafant will get it to Hagen. Riker will pick it up. He tries to get it out of the zone, but it gets blocked. That comes over the net. Picked up by Bloomington in the corner. Rasmussen breaks up that play. Picked up by Sestafant. He'll skate it in. Back to Rasmussen. Rasmussen shot. It's deflected by the goalie. Goes wide. Hagen getting back. Shot. Starkman puts a glove on it, but it squirts through. It's up front. Picked up by Rasmussen. Riker throws it alongside the boards and gets it out of the zone. That comes back to Schwartzbauer. Schwartzbauer loses the handle on it to Bloomington player. That gets deflected by Christensen to Schwartzbauer. Schwartzbauer comes in, loses the handle on it, comes back out again. That comes down. Sestafant will pick it up back behind the net. He throws it back to Eriksson alongside the boards. Eriksson gets it to Schwartzbauer. Schwartzbauer throws a cross ice to Christensen. Christensen's got Lorenzen off to his left. His shot goes wide of the net and then into the net thing up over the net, so that's going to be a breakage in play. 8 minutes, 34 seconds left here in the third and final period. Score CCHA 4, Bloomington Jefferson 5. That comes out to Bloomington. They'll throw it alongside the boards. It gets deflected wide. Off to Davis. Davis gets it to Eriksson. Eriksson throws it to Christensen, but it was going to be an offside call on Bloomington. Ulrich line heading out. Swarthout will be to his left. Heiner to his right. Back is Davis and Johnson. Puck gets tied up at center ice. Picked up by Davis. Davis will throw it in. Heiner back behind the net. He's able to get control of the puck. Ulrich in to help him out. He's got blocked off it by the ref. Bloomington throws it all the way down, and that is going to be an icing call on Bloomington. 7 minutes and 52 seconds left. CCHA 4, Bloomington Jefferson 5. Face-off will be to the left of the Bloomington Jefferson goalie. Ulrich will step in and take the face-off. It's Swarthout to his left, Heiner to his right. Oh! Puck goes cross crease. Down low for Ulrich. Ulrich brings it into the corner, throws it back. Swarthout picks it up on the other side. He gets checked into the boards. Heinert in to help him out. Up comes Ulrich. Ulrich tries to get it Swarthout. Swarthout has it back behind the net. Leaves it for Heinert. Heinert tied up now. Back behind. He's looking for it. John Ulrich in to help him out. He comes squirting out to Bloomington. Bloomington throws it back behind the net. Heinert chasing after it. Gets tied up there. Goes cross ice. Ulrich there to deflect that puck. It just comes into the CCHA zone. Right into the corner with it. Ulrich throws it up, tries to hit Hagen. Stays up. Starkman saves, gets it to Armentrout. Armentrout throws it up the boards, just out of Rasmussen's reach. Comes back to Armentrout. Armentrout sends it over to Eide. Eide throws it out of the zone. Reichert and Hagen there. Hagen tries to hit Rasmussen outside, but can't. Bloomington comes in, throws it across ice. They lose a handle on it. Throws it down deep. Eide with it now. This puck gets deflected. Reichert in to help him out. Picked up by Eide. Throws it alongside the boards. Comes out. Bloomington throws it back. Back to Armentrout. Armentrout gives it up to Hagen. Hagen gets to Reichert. Reichert brings it into the corner. Tries to get to Hagen. Deflected. Testafont with it alongside the boards along with Reichert. Puck squirts out to Schwartzbauer. Schwartzbauer still working with it. Goes back behind the net. Deflected by Christensen. It comes out of the zone. Back to Christensen. Lorenzen picked it up. Back to Eriksson. Eriksson's shot. Saved by Bloomington. Back by Lorenzen, or Christensen. His shot goes wide. Comes back to Sestafon at the point. He'll throw it back into the corner and go back behind the net. Comes back up. Nice job by Sestafon, keeping into the zone. He throws it out front to Lorenzen, and Lorenzen couldn't get a stick on. It gets deflected by Bloomington player. Hope checked away by Schwartzbauer. Back to Lorenzen. Lorenzen's puck gets blocked by a Bloomington player. Back to Heinert. Heinert's shot gets through and covered by the Bloomington goalie. 4 minutes and 36 seconds left here in the third and final period. Score is CCHA 4, Bloomington Jefferson 5. Puck goes back behind the net. Bloomington carries it out. It's a 3-on-1 shot. Nice save by Starkman. Bloomington player loses an edge. Johnson will throw it up. Goes cross ice, hits Heinert. Heinert tries to get it to Ulrich, but it gets picked up by Bloomington. Back to Heinert. Heinert will carry it in. Stops. Bloomington picks it up. Carries it back behind the net. Up. Cross ice. Off the boards. And icing is waved off. Johnson will pick it up. Hits Ulrich. Ulrich will dump it in. Blocked by Bloomington. They throw it cross ice. And then up. They lose it to Davis. Davis is coming along the boards. Reichert will pick it up. Brings it down in the corner. Drops it for Hagen. Hagen comes in. His shot gets blocked by a Bloomington player. Armentrout's shot goes off of the Bloomington player. Heidi's back for it now. He'll pick it up. He loops it around, gets it to Rasmussen. Rasmussen loses a handle on it. Picked up. Rasmussen blocks it. There's a hook. No call. Puck comes out. Idy's got it. We'll send it over to Armentrout. Armentrout gets it up to Rasmussen. Rasmussen tries to get it up to Reichert and gets deflected back out to center ice. Idy's there. We'll dump it into the Bloomington box. 2 minutes and 46 seconds left here in the game. Score is CCHA 4, Bloomington 5. Lorenzen line will be out there with Erickson to his left. Christensen to his right. Out back is Schwartzbauer and Sestefan. Sestefan will dump it into the Jefferson zone. Puck gets deflected by Lorenzen and stays in. Now it gets out. Jumps over Sestefan's stick. Picked up by Bloomington. And we'll get a penalty. For a slash. Gotta say, though, it was a decent slash. So, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left here in the period, and CCHA will go up on a penalty kill for the next 2 minutes. Lorenzen picks it up, gets it out of the zone, and we're going to get an offsides call on Bloomington. All right, Lorenzen will step in and take the face off. Christensen to his right. Puck comes back to Johnson. Johnson gets it out of the zone. Bloomington controls, brings it back into their zone. Cross ice, goes down deep, and that's going to be an icing call. Two minutes and 10 seconds left in the game, a minute and 41 in the penalty kill. Ulrich steps in with Erickson off to his left. Johnson and Davis out back. Bloomington throws across ice, and that is going to be another icing call. Not sure quite what's going on, if they're just killing time or what the story is, but Ulrich steps in to take the face off. Goes to the net. Bloomington controls. Cross ice. Bloomington carries it into the CCHA zone. Puck gets broken up, and Starkman's going to cover. Oh! Puck squirts out and it goes. All right, a minute and 44 seconds. Both teams are going to be at full strength. CCHA is down 4-6 against Bloomington. Ulrich will step in to take the face off. Swarth out and Heinert up front with him. Puck comes up to center ice. Armentrout pinches. Puck goes into the zone. Idy picks it up. Throws it back along. Picked up by Bloomington. Ulrich breaks up that play. Comes out to Bloomington. Heinert's there. Heinert will carry it out. Gets deflected. Picked up by Idy. Idy's shot gets blocked. Bloomington fans on the shot. Comes back out. Blocked by Armentrout. Idy throws it out. Comes all the way down. Sestefan will pick it up, carry it back behind the net. Less than a minute left in this game. Puck goes over. Schwartz will pick it up alongside the boards. Schwartz will throw it, and we will get a cross-checking penalty on Ulrich. All right, so it'll be 5-on-4 here with the CCHA penalty kill. Lorenzen steps in to take the face off. Christensen out front with them with Sestefan, and puck comes in the goal. Off the face-off, Bloomington picked it up. Shot on net to Starkman. Starkman's rebound landed right on the Bloomington Jefferson's stick. So with 42.5 seconds left here in the third period, the score is CCHA 4, Bloomington Jefferson 7. And that'll do it. Thank you all for joining us this evening. We will be back again, I think, this weekend for another game. Have a great rest of your evening.